the fine line print that's within the improved tracking of workplace injuries and illness, the regulation that was issued out through the Federal Register earlier this year. If you look at it, it just really talks a lot about the reporting requirements for employers to submit their OSHA log information phased in over a 2-year period. But if you read between the lines and really read in the details, it does much more than that. It requires much more than that from employers, to the point where they're starting to get some pushback now that the employers are in regards to the issuance of this new rule, really trying to determine if OSHA has kind of jumped outside their jurisdiction in the implementation of this rule. So we'll go into the details. I have done, this is a condensed version of a presentation that I usually, that I have done probably about 4 or 5 times now for like a 3.5 hour type of information system training. So we're going to condense this into about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on questions and so on and so forth. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into this thing here. Okay, a disclaimer. So anytime that I do a webinar or a classroom instruction training, I will have a disclaimer. So this webinar has been produced. It's for educational and information purposes only. The webinar information in the webinar does not constitute as legal advice or legal opinions. I am not by any ways and means an attorney, and I am not a representative of OSHA also. Okay, so the information that's presented is just, it's information purposes only. I can tell you this much, is that for this particular regulation, there are many employers reaching out to their legal department to seek legal counsel advice. And like I said, we'll go into that here in a little bit more detail. The opinions expressed in the webinar, those are mine and mine only. They do not reflect the opinions of ComplyArena, its employees, or its agents. I do have a tendency to give you my opinion, and once again, that opinion, that expression, it is mine. It does not reflect ComplyArena whatsoever. So I just want to be clear on that. Okay, the objectives. We're going to identify the target dates on the compliance schedule. There's three different types of changes, compliance date changes, I should say, pertaining to the schedule within this 2-year period. We're going to explain why OSHA has issued the new rule. Describe how to obtain the high-risk industries information, and we're going to illustrate how to report fatalities and severe injury and illnesses, and discuss how the new electronic system, or this new rule as a whole, benefits employers. And I'll discuss that through the eyes of OSHA's interpretation on how this new rule benefits employers. Employers, of course, have a different perspective on that.